Good day, Ma'am and Sir. Today we are going to present to you our research paper. The impact of low self-esteem on socializing skills of grade 12 ABM PA students in FINMA University of Pangasinan. A research paper presented in the Faculty of Senior High School in FINMA University of Pangasinan in partial fulfillment of requirement for the subject Practical Research Team or APP 006.
Chapter 1. The Problem. This chapter has a background of the study, statement of the problem, hypothesis testing, conceptual framework, significance of the study, and scope and delimitation. Background of the study. This part will show you the importance of socializing skills and self-esteem. Self-esteem is one way to help students to improve their socializing skills, but it takes time to build someone's self-esteem. We are entering a real world, where we are exposed in communicating and interacting with many people. Other students are not able to communicate because of having a low self-esteem. Having a low self-confidence is a real issue that affects of the teenagers. The word self-esteem means having a good opinion and feeling good about yourself. Self-esteem is a major key to success in life, while low self-esteem is a thinking disorder where he or she feels inadequate, unlovable, and incompetent.
Statement of the problem. This study aimed to identify the impact of low self-esteem on socializing skills of grade 12 ABM students at FINMA University of Pangasinan. This study sought to answer the following questions.
Hypothesis testing. There is no significant impact of low self-esteem to socializing skills of students in FINMA University of Pangasinan.
Conceptual framework. Figure 1 is the research paradigm of the present study, showing the relationship of the variables involved. The independent variable is the causal of the overall outcome. It is the low self-esteem. The dependent variable is the impact of socializing skills of the student in FINMA University of Pangasinan.
Significance of the study. In this part, we'll show you the beneficiaries of the study.
Scope and delimitation. This study focuses on social involvement of the student having this behavior in FINMA University of Pangasinan. The research is designed to analyze and evaluate students having low self-esteem.
Chapter 2. Review of related study and literature. Here are some related literature and study on low self-esteem.
Here are some related literature studies on socializing skills.
Chapter 3, Methodology. This chapter presents the methods to be used in the study. It also describes the subject of the study, the instrument used, procedure of data gathering, and statistical treatment of the data. Research design. This study uses a descriptive and correlational research design. Locale of the study. The study was conducted in FINMA University of Pangasinan, Arellano Street, Dagupan City. Respondents. The respondents of the study were composed of 47 grade 12 ABM students. The respondents belong to the track of ABM, which is primarily designed for accounting and business management students. The researcher determined the number of respondents through the use of Slovin's formula. After determining the sample size, simple random sampling was used. Data gathering procedure. The researchers made a letter for the approval to conduct the study at FINMA University of Pangasinan. The study was conducted for 2 weeks. After collecting all the data, the researchers tabulated and tallied the survey. Statistical treatment of data. The data gathered by the researchers were carefully tallied, analyzed, and interpreted using statistical tools to discover the effects of low self-esteem on socializing skills among the respondents. The researchers used frequency count, average weighted mean, and correlational coefficient for the testing of the hypothesis.
Chapter 4, Presentation, Analysis of Data, Interpretation of Findings, presents the relevant and substantial data, which are presented, analyzed, and interpreted in the context of problem posted in the study. Here are the contents of the questionnaires. Part 1, Profile of the respondents. Part 2, Level of self-esteem of the respondents. Part 3, Level of socializing skills of the respondents. The researchers aim data that evolve in the profile of the respondents with respect to age, gender, section, level of self-esteem, and socializing skills of the students. A number of 47 grade 12 ABM strand students from 03A were selected as the respondents. The result of this study were presented in the tables were analyzed and interpreted truly. Table 1 represents the profile of the 47 respondents in terms of age, gender, and section for the statistical treatment of data gathered and collected. The frequency count and percentage distribution was used.
Self-esteem level of the respondents. Represent the level of self-esteem of the 47 respondents based on the indicator statement as provided on the table. For the statistical treatment of the data collected, the average weighted mean was 3.32. All of the indicator statement on self-esteem gathered a moderate transmuted description with a descriptive equivalence of neutral. The findings implies that in terms of the level of self-esteem of the respondents possesses moderate level of self-esteem. Socializing skill level of the respondents. Represent the level of socializing skill of the 47 respondents based on the questionnaire that they rate. For this statistical treatment of data gathered and collected, the weighted mean was 3.53. Descriptive equivalent and transmuted description was used. Almost all of the indicator statements on socializing skill gathered high transmuted description with descriptive elements of agree. The findings imply that in terms of the level of socializing skills of the respondents are not experiencing hardship in socializing with others.
The significant relationship between impact of low self-esteem and socializing skills of the respondents. This section presents the relation between the impact of low self-esteem and socializing skills of the students. The statistical gathered and collected persons are correlational was used. In confirming whether to accept original hypothesis, the researchers computed for the R. The computed value for person R is 0.09, which means the two variables have weak correlational. Therefore, the given statistics on the table provide sufficient evidence for the researchers to reject the null hypothesis. There is significant relationship between the low self-esteem and socializing skills of the grade 12 ABM 03A of Pima University of Pangasinan academic year 2018-2019.
Chapter 5, Summary, Conclusion, and Recommendation. Our summary measures level of impact on low self-esteem on students. We researchers summarize samples of respondents by survey questionnaires. Summarization finds profile of data and levels of respondents to collect. And to our conclusion, we conclude that scores of lower self-esteem are female than the scores of male. Number 2, at age 17, they are more likely heavily influenced by low self-esteem. Number 3, significant relationship of low self-esteem and socializing skills can be the hardest among child. 4, social skills play a very important role in a child's health. Our recommendations. We should maintain good relationship with people to improve. open up problems, and share for having low self-esteem. Number 3, schools should apply program to increase their confidence. 4, researchers should conduct this study to validate data.
My group mates because we are working well as a part of a team. Number 2, learning new things because if you learn something new, you can share it to others.
The focus of the study focus on social involvement of the students. The research is designed to analyze and evaluate students having low self-esteem. And also, the focus was on grade 12 ABM students.
An overworked notion in psychology is that individuals have problems because of low self-esteem. As it turns out, this doesn't appear to be the case. It suggests that improving our view of ourselves may not be an emotional cure-all.
Our research question help us provide the focus for where the research starts and help us come up with the answers. Aside from it is only designed to answer our research problem, our research question drives discovery, and the discovery proves to be of value. Therefore, I can say that our research questions are really important and interesting.
The two most important sources and how these sources help us to accomplish our work is the primary and the secondary source. The term primary source is used broadly to embody all sources that are original. The primary source includes speeches, diaries, letters, autobiographies, drawings, photographs, etc. A secondary source is a source that provides non-original or second-hand data or information. Secondary sources are written about primary sources. Research summaries reported in textbooks, magazines, and newspapers are considered secondary source.
This study used a descriptive and correlational research design because descriptive research is a scientific method that involves to observe and describe the behavior and the characteristics of population, and correlational research will directly relate present study, measure variable, and assess statistical relationship. Our respondents are from grade 12 ABM4A. From 53 of them, we only choose 47 using Sloan's formula. The method used was simple random sampling.
The measurement instrument that we use is survey questionnaire because you probably know more about interview ideas. That's not a big help in research as it is no way to make things more relevant and realistic information.
Our findings are based on the information we collected from survey questionnaires. The combined data level of socializing skills of 12 ABM3A is 3.53, which means that their communicating skills and interacting skills are normal. And the combined level of their self-esteem is 3.32, which means almost all of them are having confidence in their own ability.
Our work's originality is survey questionnaire because it is our way to find their information.
The strongest part of our research of this study is our background of the study, which is the compilation of adequate information about the law, self-esteem, and socializing skills. It is more in-depth and explains why our research topic is worth the time of our readers. The weakest part of our research of this study is the qualitative methods, because findings usually cannot be generalized to the study of the population or community.
Number 1, parents should maintain their good relationship to their child. Number 2, students need to open up their problems to their parents. And number 3, schools should create programs to increase the confidence of a student. Number 4, the researchers recommend future researchers to conduct the same study to offer new findings.
The importance of our study is the information that are in it. These informations will help them learn about how they should act to their low self-esteem and socializing skills because they experience circumstances and this information will help them provide satisfaction of oneself.
If I were to conduct the study again, one thing that I will change is the way or technique we use in conducting the study to make it easier for us to accomplish our work, thus manage our time properly and accordingly.
If I could go back to the start of our research, I will advise myself and my fellow researcher to keep working and discover new things not only to improve our study, but also to help the students who are struggling with this kind of issue. And also put God in the center of everything and seek advices to the professionals. And lastly, believe in yourself and think positive.